future. The STEM subjects are important, the social sciences are important, the arts and creatives are equally important. And that is why I've said beginning January next year, those pathways will be available for all our students so that we can grow this society in a wholesome manner. Mr. Chairman, music brings joy. I didn't, however, know, I have learned from you that when everything else stops, there will be music in heaven. I didn't know particularly that part, but now I am informed. But it must also bring musicians dignity and comfort. I have met musicians from various regions and genres, and their complaint is always the same. The issue of royalties has been stuck in endless cycles of debate for far too long. That we must bring to an end. The Kenya Copyright Board must now take decisive action and resolve the collective management organization standoff once and for all. I am pleased to report that Kenya Copyright Board is now enforcing the requirement of 70% of royalties to go directly to artists, and that non-compliance will lead to loss of licenses for those who are involved. I further direct the board to implement a digital royalties system on the e-citizen platform without delay even if it requires legislative changes. We must get rid of middlemen and brokers that are earning more money than the artists themselves. We cannot postpone action on something that directly benefits the very people whose music we all celebrate. The time to act is now, and this matter must be brought to conclusion this year. Ladies and gentlemen, the black tape levy has already collected 100 million shillings, which will go directly to supporting the creative industry. I have directed the Kenya Copyright Board to finalize fair distribution guidelines in line with the recent judicial rulings. And timely and ultimately, creatives must receive at least 70% of the proceeds from their work. The government has rehabilitated cultural centers such as the Kenya National Theatre, Bomas of Kenya, and regional hubs to provide affordable spaces for performance and training. We are exploring proposals to build additional cultural centers using funds from the housing levy. Counties are encouraged to establish creative industry hubs and to decentralize talent development. Mr. Chairman, what we have seen and heard today strengthens our conviction that our schools and learners must begin to earn from their talent and creativity. Until now, the situation has been unfair and outdated. To watch their own performances, artists have had to travel to Nairobi, select their pieces, and pay 1,000 shillings for a DVD that is their own work. Last year, I committed to create an online distribution platform for school drama and music performances. Today, as you have heard from the leadership of eCitizen, we are keeping that promise. The platform will be live on eCitizen, enabling students, parents, and fans to download performances instantly for less than Kenya shillings 250 shillings without having to travel to Nairobi, down from the previous 1,000. This is a bold leap forward, replacing DVDs with instant digital access and marking the first step towards building Kenya's own Netflix for local production. This initiative will enhance accessibility, promote creativity, and showcase Kenya's rich cultural heritage, both locally and globally. The Kenya National Drama and Film Festival and the Kenya Music Festival will benefit greatly as their visibility will grow, their audience will expand, and the work of our artists will reach far and beyond our borders. Art thrives when there is a strong consumer base, and not just the performers. We must take it easy to consume. We must make it easy for us to consume our own entertainment. I welcome the latest judicial decision upholding the direct payment of Skiza earnings to musicians, cutting out middlemen as the new law requires. However, we have noticed in the past that the artists end up with a short end of the stick. It is now provided in law that up to 52% should be paid to the artists, not 30%, as is the case at the moment. I challenge network providers to review their revenue splits and give a fair share to the artists whose talent drive their platform's success. I am aware that the Creative Economy Support Bill 2024 and the Culture Bill 2024 are before Parliament. I urge both the National Assembly and the Senate to fast-track their passage into law. These laws will unlock grants through the Creative Fund that is going to be put in place by this legislation. It will also provide credit guarantees, offer fiscal and tax incentives to attract major film productions, and help creatives register and defend their intellectual property, both at home and abroad. As you are all aware, we haven't benefited sufficiently from film production because the regime that has existed, the legal regime that has existed, was rigid. With these two pieces of legislation before Parliament, we intend to make it easier, we intend to make it possible for large filmmakers who currently are shooting elsewhere to shoot in Kenya. And therefore, I am asking Parliament to expedite the passage of this legislation so that our creatives here at home can become part of the film industry that is thriving globally. Let me also say that already we have the Kenya Academy of Sports. And therefore, the request that we create a pathway and we create an academy where the performers who are here, the talented performers who are here, can channel their training, can have a pathway of training and knowledge acquisition and learning that takes them to the apex. I am directing the Ministry of Education to immediately review the Kenya Academy of Sports and expand it to be the Kenya Academy of Arts, Creatives, and Sports, and provide the necessary funding so that we can begin to put in place the necessary infrastructure that will support the three pathways. Now that we have a clear pathway of arts and creatives and sports, it is equally necessary that we put in place the necessary infrastructure to support its development so that from primary school to secondary school to higher education, all the way, there must be a clear pathway and clear infrastructure to support the development of this very critical sector that has been said will speak to the soul of our nation and speak to us in ways that words and other disciplines cannot speak to us. As I conclude, I congratulate all who have performed at this state concert and urge you to remain humble, disciplined, and focused. You have a bright future if you combine talent with patience and hard work. I wish you all the very best as you join your families and enjoy the remainder of the school holidays. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you very much. I must